Analysts are negative on AmBank's private placement plan because of its earnings dilutive effects. CGS CIMB research analyst Winston Ng said AmBank's proposed exercise was a negative surprise, as the bank did not guide for such a plan and previously stated it had enough capital buffers to absorb the 2.83 billion ringgit provision for the 1MDB settlement. He estimates that the private placement would dilute its earnings per share by 4% for FY22 and 8.3% for FY23, based on the assumed issue price of 2 ringgit 70. On the impairment of goodwill for the fourth quarter of FY21, Ng believes a 10% impairment would increase his projected FY21 net loss of 1.77 billion ringgit by about 8.2%. He maintained his reduced call and target price of 2 ringgit 67. Kenanga research analyst Clement Chua also said the group's private placement plan came as a surprise. He downgraded his call to underperform with a lower target price of 2 ringgit 40 from 3 ringgit 5 previously, while also accounting for cuts in book value assumptions. Meanwhile, MIDF research analyst Imran Yassin Muhammad Yusof said, based on his forecast of the group's FY22 earnings, he foresees a decline of 9% in its EPS and book value per share due to the dilutive effects. He kept his trading sell call and target price of 2 ringgit 75. Over at Maybank Investment Bank Research, analyst Desmond Cheng says the potential goodwill write-off will enhance AmBank's future return on equity, while its proposed private placement could shore up its common equity tier 1 to about 11.7% from 11%. In the near term though, he says there may be a share overhang ahead of the placement exercise. He maintained his hold call and 3 ringgit 40 target price for AmBank. Proton Holdings sold 14,898 cars in March this year, its best sales month since September 2013. In a statement today, Proton said the March figure, comprising domestic and export sales, was a 26.2% month-on-month increase from February, translating into a market share of 23.5%. Overall, it retained its second position in the sales rankings table. For the first quarter of the year, the national car maker achieved a cumulative sales total of 32,826 units and its highest quarterly market share since March 2012. Proton said deliveries of its two SUV models continued to rise in March, with higher output from its new production line in Tanjung Malim. It delivered 3,513 units of the X50 and 2,337 units of the X70. The Saga remained its top seller, with sales growing 32.5% from February and 5,589 units delivered. The Persona, Iris and Exora also posted their best figures for the year, with the Exora topping C-segment MPV sales. Proton ADA CEO Roslan Abdullah says Malaysia's automotive industry finally hit its stride in 2021 and estimates March total industry volume to hit over 63,000 units. The Magistrates Court in Putrajaya has extended the remand of 3 men, including an ex-bank president cum managing director, to assist in investigations into the granting of a 400 million ringgit loan for what is alleged to be a non-existent project. The 3 were among 4 persons arrested on Tuesday by the MACC and remanded for 3 days on Wednesday. A source told theedgemarkets.com that the 4th individual, a woman who is a consultant, has been released. According to the source, the remand for the 3 men has now been extended to next Wednesday. They are being investigated for allegedly receiving 3.17 million Singapore dollars, about 8 million ringgit, as commission for approving the loan to a company for the project. It is understood that once the money was disbursed, the firm shuttered and the project did not commence. IHH Healthcare's Turkey-based Acibadem Healthcare Group is acquiring a 70% stake in Belmatic Group, a leading private healthcare operator in Serbia. IHH and Acibadem said in a joint statement that definitive agreements have been signed for the acquisition, but did not disclose the purchase price. Belmatic, founded in 1995, operates 1 hospital and 5 outpatient clinics in the capital Belgrade. Post-acquisition, the group will operate under the name Acibadem Belmatic. The acquisition boosts Acibadem's beds globally to more than 4,200 across 22 hospitals in 5 countries. IHH raised its stake in Acibadem to 90% from 60% in 2018. It also manages several other healthcare brands: Fortis, Gleneagles, Mount Elizabeth, Parkway Pantai and Prince Court in its key markets of Malaysia, Singapore, Turkey, India and Greater China, including Hong Kong. Genting Group is among a number of strategic investors involved in the recent round of funding for Las Vegas-based company Siteline Payments. Siteline Payments on its website announced today $100 million in strategic growth investment. It said the recent round of funding was led by Kane Holdings and William P. Foley II, who was recently appointed chairman of PaySafe, and includes strategic investors Walter Korshak, Point Break Capital, Searchlight Capital Partners, Shift4 Ventures and Vector Ventures besides Genting. Siteline Payments develops cashless mobile and omni-channel payment solutions for the gaming, lottery, sports betting, entertainment and hospitality ecosystems. It said consumer interest in sports betting and online casino has grown rapidly over the past 12 months. And payments companies like itself have helped sports betting grow by nearly 70% and iGaming by almost 200% last year. It added the combined online sports betting and online casino market is projected to grow from $3 billion in 2020 to $22 billion by 2026.